We're live. We're live today. We're talking about too much seasoning in the sauce. What does that mean? What in the world? What am I talking about today? So today we're gonna have this conversation about stuff that's real life. We call it real life. We're talking about today, and the thought of too much seasoning in the sauce. And this is coming from, we'll call it coming from my life right now, but in a good way. This is sometimes how I've actually worked my way through ideas. By the way, I sometimes just talk about them on here. You have no idea what I'm actually doing in the background, but I have these conversations internally. I figure, why not have the conversation live in my head at least and flesh the thought out, and then you get to see in real time how my brain works. You have no idea what's going on. You're like my little science experiment, we'll call it. He says, I like the seasoning of my sauce. I know I like seasoning my sauce too, Joey. Man, I like seasoning my sauce too, dog. Let's talk about this. Who's on there? Joey Bisagno. You guys are great. Nicole Kelsey, good morning. Let's talk about this. I have a lot of things I do. And this is not like a story about, look what I do. It's like, I got a lot of things I do, man. I'm a dad. I am a husband. I am a man of faith. I am a coach. I'm a speaker. I do all these different things. I have a business in the background that runs on coaching people and all those things. And it's funny, whenever it comes time to move forward, you need to end up having like other insights, right? You need to have insights into your life from other people who've walked the walk, who've done the thing, that can give you some perspective. What's up, Chris Hopper? Chip Hopper, my man. Junior Lambert, what's up? Good morning. You need to have people that give you perspectives. Danny Trujillo, good morning. The idea is to go to a level and say, how do I actually get to the point of having the right amount of people around me giving me insight, but not too many people watching my patrol office. Hey, I like it. Yeah, way to start the day. Joey, I like it. This might help you, dog. So here's what I realized. There are a lot of people that have a lot of things to say. There are a lot of people with a lot of insights, a lot of perspectives, all that kind of stuff. Yes, Chip, it's hard to read your label when you're inside the bottle. So the thing I looked at is like, man, how does it go? Sonia Lucas, good morning. How do we figure this whole thing out of like, how do I get the right insight, not too much insight? Because here's the truth. I believe that we're all like this amazing sauce. Like a spicy meatball, or like some whatever call. We'll call it your sauce. You got like the spaghetti sauce. And you know as well as I do, you can go and put a little bit of salt in there. You can put a little bit of pepper. Craig Siegel, what's up, my man? You can put all these things in there, but what ends up happening at a certain point is, man, there ends up being too much seasoning in the salt or in the sauce, right? So what happens is you end up having too much flavor. It can be too salty, right? It can be too spicy. It can be too whatever because you put too much in there. And so what I've always looked at is in my life, I have the right people in, but then sometimes there's too many people giving too much perspective and too much going in, right? And here's what I've noticed. Much love came for the world. Oh man, guys, check out Craig. We had a cool episode we did. It's just spicy meatball. So the thing I realize is like in our lives, you got to figure out what is the right amount because you do want seasoning, right? You don't want to have that bland ragu sauce. Who wants the bland ragu? If you do bland ragu, I'm not coming to your house for any spaghetti on any of those spaghetti nights. You need to know how to season the damn sauce, right? So how do you do that? What does it look like? It looks like having a good idea of who you selected to be able to put in some seasoning to the sauce, right? And my sauce is like I have a coaching business and figuring out who we talk to at the right time, the right language, right messaging with the right offers, the right product, the right service. How do I really serve people? There's more thinking behind the scenes than most people actually realize of how do I make sure I can show up in a loud, crazy world, right? Because everybody has to know how to be able to get attention, to be able to help the people they want to help. Even if it's all heart-centered, people aren't going to know you're great at what you do if you can't let them know who you are, right? So the idea is like, well, how do I get this thing going? And I got a lot of people that are in my ecosystem that are phenomenal brains, but sometimes I let too many people put seasoning in the sauce. And guess what it does? It's too salty, it's too peppery, it's too spicy. And so I'm learning in real time, conversationally we'll call it, how to be able to navigate that. Here's what my thoughts are on this. You have to first understand what kind of sauce that you like, right? Well, you have to understand what kind of sauce you like and then understand what kind of sauce other people like. Maybe somebody comes in and goes, you know what, I like sauce a little bit more salty. If they like sauce salty, they don't need to be putting any, if you don't like salty, they don't need to be putting it into your sauce. That makes sense? Like if you like a lot of salt, I don't like salt in my sauce. I don't want you going and help season my sauce because you're going to make it too salty, right? Say I don't like spicy, but you like a lot of pepper and all this stuff in your sauce. Well, if you put a lot of stuff in there, then all of a sudden it all goes out of whack. So what I'm saying essentially is you got to start figuring out internally, who are you? Who are you? What is it you want? And what kind of sauce do you want? And then find people that also like that kind of sauce. Does it make sense? You got to find people that like to do what you want to do, because then what happens is the alignment's much better. They can do what they do, and when they put some perspectives, some ideas, some thoughts, some seasoning into your sauce, man, it's much easier to have a conversation, right? And you don't have to feel like, man, this person's messing it up, because that's the big problem. I think when you get too many people doing too many things, you start thinking, man, this person's messing stuff up. And they really haven't messed anything up. There's been no damage, no problem. They're doing what they know how to do. They're doing what their thing is. And so the way you control it is by here. You keep the cooks out of the kitchen. That's what it is. I'm going to say it again. How do you do it? You keep some of the cooks out of the kitchen. There's this cool metaphor. It's like there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Too many people trying to make their meal, and they're trying to put some seasoning in the sauce. And so what you do is you figure out how to be able to do things at a level that you want to do it by having the right amount of cooks in the kitchen and the right cooks in the kitchen. So how does it show up? Well, if you're in a family, right? Maybe you don't need to have your best friend, your cousin, your girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. You don't need to do all that, right? You don't actually need to get to the point where you have somebody specifically, around the family. Like, to be honest, you have a marriage. Let's say a marriage, for example. That's a sauce. That's a special sauce, man. You don't need to be telling everybody all your business. There's a transparency level at which is good and healthy, I think, to have people know who you guys are. There's also a transparency level that's not necessary, because then mother-in-law comes in and father-in-law comes in and cousin, sister, brother, kids. They don't need to know all that stuff. Those are cooks that got to stay out of the kitchen of the sauce of your marriage, right? It's a perspective here. Parenting. You don't need everybody's perspective on parenting. There's a couple people you might lean on, right? But you don't need every mom, dad, brother, cousin, again, giving insight to how you parent. Your life, if it's a business or a job that you have, you don't need everybody giving you perspective that you take in on how you should run your life, what job you should have, whether you should do a business, what career you should have. You don't need to do all this kind of stuff. And I think we live in a life, in a world, sometimes we look at the rest of the world and we let people from the outside world, the rest of the world, season our sauce. That's unnecessary. You don't need to be watching something get comparison syndrome and issues and then start trying to adjust your life to fit this thing because you saw it. You think, I should have that. I should want that. I should go to Thailand and jump off a cliff with a rope in my belly and do bungee jumping. Maybe you shouldn't. Bob, maybe you shouldn't go jump off a Thailand cliff because you saw somebody do it. That's not good seasoning for your sauce. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to follow the entire world. You got to make sure you're clear on what are the things that are your life, your world, fit for you, and keep those things in place by not letting too many cooks in the kitchen. This could also be something that has to do with quite literally any part of your family. My family runs different than most people. There are people that I know in my real life. Good morning, Simone. Good morning, James. I appreciate you giving love on the book. There are people that look at my life and they're like, man, you guys do a lot. They're like, we're competitive. We're always like, we train for fun. Like on holidays, we'll go to the track and run around and get sweaty. Like we travel a lot. We're mobile. We're nomadic. We have no problem moving. Some people are like, bro, how do you move? I haven't stayed in the same place in the last 15 years for more than 2 years. More than 2. I don't know what it is. It's always been a specific thing we've moved for. We're just nomadic. We just, I want to go live life. Some people look at that and can go, hey, that's stupid. It's weird. It's odd, right? If I let their seasoning into my sauce, it would ruin my sauce and my family. We operate well like this. And this is what I need you guys to grasp. Whether you agree with it or not isn't the issue. Whether someone does or not, it's not the issue. It's whether or not you do. That's it. Whether or not you like a specific sauce, the way it's made, what's going on, how your life is running, and then who do you let into the kitchen? Who do you let in to kind of spice the sauce? Who do you let perspective seep into your brain to affect what it is that you do? So today on this beautiful Wednesday, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about this life you're living, what you're doing quite literally right now. I'm not talking about this philosophical, like, oh, good thought. I want you to think about it now. What part of your life are you living right now? We'll call it the sauce of your marriage, sauce of your parenting, sauce of your family, sauce of your career, sauce of your health, right? We'll call it the sauce. Where in your life are you letting people come in and make you feel bad about stuff or mess things up or not feel comfortable in your own stinking skin? You know what I mean? Where are these things happening? And you need to take a look at them and go, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to get a cook out of the stinking kitchen. Maybe someone doesn't belong in this conversation, and that is okay. It doesn't mean they can't be part of the team. It may mean that just that conversation point that they're not part of. You can have friends around that you guys hang out with, you do things with, that don't have to be part of internal decisions of what it is you do. Great example, my best friend Jason, love him to death. He has a different way he runs his family than I run mine, and that's beautiful. I love the dude. I love everything about what he got going on. He's my man, right? But at the same time, There's certain perspectives and insight I just don't take and don't confide in him, or not confide. I don't consult him on. I run my life the way I run my life, and we have great conversations, right? But that's the thing. You can keep somebody in the vicinity, but you don't got to let them be a cook in the stinking kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want you to grab. It's a life lesson I'm learning right now, which is it's all good stuff, man. I've learned these lessons many times over, but it came to what bubbled to the top of my consciousness this morning. So that's my message for you guys today. Hey, if you haven't yet, go grab this book right here. This is my Identity Shift book. It comes out August 24th. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon. You go to IdentityShiftBook.com. Use the code FREEBIES as a process. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Follow it. Use the code FREEBIES. You'll get once you buy it, you'll get a free audio book. You'll get a free workbook and a free digital copy of the book. And the workbook's a book that allows you to actually go through and kind of take out the segments of my coaching that I use with my clients and apply it to your own life. So go there, IdentityShiftBook.com. Use the code FREEBIES after you purchase it. Bring the code back, put it in. You get all the cool stuff, and it drops August 24th. Outside of that, man, I love you guys. I do. My wife's always like, why do you say you love people? Because they're not your kids or your wife. And I'm like, it's not that kind of love. Like, I love my mailman. I love the UPS guy, different than I love my kids. You know what I'm saying? I love you guys. You're human beings that have hearts. And man, you guys, if you ever get in like conversation with me, like I seriously thoroughly enjoy humanity. I thoroughly enjoy your heart, what you got going on. I care about you. It may sound odd, but if I could hate somebody I don't know, I can love somebody I don't know, right? Like, why not? Love you too, Joe. So just giving you guys some love, man. I sometimes people don't hear that, but I do have a great deal of compassion and love for you guys out in the world, man. So do your thing. I'll see you guys on Friday, man. I appreciate, I love you too, Jeff. Man, I love that. Look at that. I feel good now. I get to end the live with a good feeling in my heart, man. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Take care. God bless. I'll see you all on Friday. I'm out.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.